Hello, friends. Welcome to Creative Medicine. In this lecture, we will learn about
Then, types of heart failure. We have two different types of heart failure, that is systolic heart failure. Sorry, we have two types of heart failure. One, we have systolic heart failure, and we have diastolic heart failure. Okay, first, systolic heart failure. So, what are the causes of systolic heart failure? In systolic heart failure, here the problem is in the pumping action of the heart. If this is the heart, now the heart is very pumping hard. Two, here there is pump failure. Here the heart is not able to pump the heart properly during the systole. That is systolic heart failure. So systolic heart failure is seen in dilated cardiomyopathy. It is seen in myocardial infarction and hypertrophic obstructive cardiomyopathy. In these conditions, you will see systolic heart failure. Then we have diastolic heart failure. Diastolic heart failure is actually seen in conditions like it is seen in constrictive pericarditis. You will see diastolic heart failure. In diastolic heart failure, actually the problem is in the filling of the heart. What is happening in the diastole? In the diastole, there will be filling of the heart. If there is filling defects, then it is diastolic heart failure. In constrictive pericarditis, the pericardium around the heart is actually fibrosed, or it is hard. Okay, and as a result, the pericard, whenever there is filling of the heart has to stretch along with the pericardium. But in constrictive pericarditis, the pericardium is unable to stretch because of this fibrosis around the pericardium, and as a result there is impaired filling leading to diastolic heart failure. Similarly, we have restrictive cardiomyopathy. In restrictive cardiomyopathy, here the pericardium is completely normal. Here the problem is not in the pericardium but in the myocardium itself. There is fibrous deposition is seen in the myocardium of the heart. Now, because of this fibrous deposition in the myocardium of the heart will, it is difficult for the heart to expand, and as a result this will result in restrictive cardiomyopathy. In third, hypertrophic obstructive cardiomyopathy. In hypertrophic obstructive cardiomyopathy, here you will see that there is asymmetrical enlargement of the septum is seen. Here there is hypertrophy is seen in the cardiac muscle, but this is actually an asymmetric. Because of this asymmetrical hypertrophy, there is increased septal hypertrophy is seen mainly. So because of this increased septal hypertrophy, this septal hypertrophy will result in very less room in the ventricles. So because of lesser septal hypertrophy, the room in the left ventricle and the right ventricle is very less, thus resulting in uh, diastolic heart failure. This because of the less room in the ventricles, there is less filling of the blood, thus resulting in hypertrophic obstructive cardiomyopathy. Then acute myocardial infarction. In acute myocardial infarction, obviously the myocardium, in this the myocardium is devoid of the blood supply. This blood supply is lost. So as a result, suddenly because of the ischemia in the myocardium, the myocardial wall becomes necrosed and it undergoes coagulative necrosis. So in such cases, obviously because of the muscle necrosis and muscle damage, muscle loss, there is impaired filling leading to diastolic heart failure. Because it is an acute condition, it is in acute conditions, the conditions are not giving the heart the enough time to expand, but enough time to remodel. But if it is a chronic mi, then obviously the heart will have some time so that it can remodel to overcome the obstruction. Then in cardiac tamponade, see, in cardiac tamponade, here there is fluid which is filled in the pericardium. So because of this tense and high fluid which is present in the pericardium, now even if the heart is trying to expand, it cannot expand against the fluid. As a result, there is impaired filling leading to diastolic heart failure. Whereas by our systolic heart failure, in dilated cardiomyopathy, we will see the causes here also. In systolic heart failure, in dilated cardiomyopathy, the heart wall is dilated a lot. Now, because of this dilated cardiomyopathy, because of this dilatation, the thickness of the muscle in the myocardium is very less. It's so less that it cannot handle the high volume of blood which is present, and as a result there is difficulty in ejection of blood is seen in dilated cardiomyopathy. Second, in hypertrophic obstructive cardiomyopathy, there is here there is a lot more hypertrophy is seen in the ventricular muscle wall. Now here the septal hypertrophy is more than the uh, peripheral hypertrophy. The septal, there is asymmetrical hypertrophy is seen in hypertrophic obstructive cardiomyopathy. So as a result, the septal hypertrophy is more when compared to the other muscles. So sometimes when the heart is trying to push the blood out into the aorta, in such cases this hypertrophied septum will act like a valve, and these both will come together and it will obstruct the outflow tract. So this hypertrophic obstructive cardiomyopathy will cause obstruction in the outflow tract, thus resulting in systolic failure.
Thank you and thank you for watching.